going now? Disturbance 10?
Oh, we moved up to, oh, okay. Well, energy disturbance then, okay. Disturbance.
What's a disturbance?
I don't know. All I know is invest 93 hours. A disturbance.
We are,
Was it?
we are live and we are ready.
Doesn't sound very bad.
Okay.
One of those,
Oh,
right?
right. Okay, thank you. All right, good morning. We will now call the Sewage and Water Board meeting to order, and Ms. Yolanda,
Mayor Cantrell,
present.
Councilmember King, Director Barnes. Here. Director Duplessis, Director Kennedy,
Here.
Director Cole.
Here.
Director Pacho. Here. Director Howard,
Here.
Director Scholas,
Here.
Director Antrim. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. And prior to getting into the meat of our board meeting, I would like to, one, acknowledge and thank collectively, and I know the board had a special meet and greet prior to the meeting this morning, but this is our real opportunity on the official record of SWEPNO to acknowledge board members that have played a tremendous role in where this utility was and where we are now. Always really looking forward to be solution-driven, and results have paid off big because of their collective leadership. What I would like to do is to call the names, and we have a special presentation. And I'm just so proud of even how they came out. They look beautiful. So without further ado, I'm going to call on Miss Robin Barnes, 2014 to 2025, who really brought a strong community voice to the table and just chaired strategic planning or strategy committee for this board, for our utility. Robin, thank you so much for what you've done, and I know what you will continue to do on behalf of this utility, but the city of New Orleans collectively. Let's show her some love. Dr. Tamika Duplessis, who could not join us this morning. She is in jury duty, doing her duty in another manner. But we do appreciate her for her hard work and really holding down me as the president of this board, being the pro tem. And that shifted also to POCO, who we will recognize. But Dr. Duplessis represented District E, and we'll show her some love as well. Also chaired Plumbing Committee. Dr. Maurice Scholas, Dr. Mo Show, who is just the son of the city of New Orleans, who just represents this city on the national and global stage relative to medicine, but also this utility, representing District C and chair of the Audit Committee, 2019 to 2025, critical years, all of my term, I would say, both of them. Dr. Maurice Scholas, give it up. Yes, and we also recognize former members who have played just a critical role, again, to where we are today and on that national stage of investments in infrastructure and growth and results. Ms. Alejandra Guzman, 2018 to 2024, who served District A, has contributed to so many areas of growth for the utility. Thank you, Ms. Alejandra. Ralph Johnson, 2018 to 2022, and Poco Sloss, Lynn Sloss, 2018 to 2025, both collectively representing the Board of Liquidations, serving on Sewage and Water Board, critical roles. I mean, Poco was my pro tem as well, and you've led us to where we are today. Thank you so much, and let's show some love. Yes. So we just continue to make strides, despite delays. The power complex is progressing, and we're grateful for the legislative support, including the $8 million in capital outlay, which just demonstrates that We could not be here and didn't get here alone. It is a partnership, a collaboration, and it's been necessary to provide this level of transformation to this utility that will live on for generations. The grid power transition is underway. Over 120,000 smart meters are live, and the modernization is moving forward, and so we're excited about that. So with that, I am going to just
So Mayor, can we get a picture with the former board members?
okay, I'm just gonna pause and take a photo. 'Cause I was waiting on.
All right.
So where do we go? You can do it right here. Do we all stand behind? They can stand seated and you take us from that way?
Yes.
Board members can come in a line behind, you all sit. We're gonna stand behind you.
Okay.
Okay? Does that work?
She's gonna shoot it this way.
Oh,
okay.
Good to see you, Steve.
Good to see you. Really good to see
Yeah, you too.
I'll be Freddie.
Yeah. Somebody sit next to you.
You probably won't even recognize him.
So you get Miss Bashot in
Closer.
Wait,
second,
not
one
ready
second.
yet, one.
Joe is moving slow.
All right, that looks good framing, good smiles on 3, 2, and 1.
And Ryan, come stand on in here with us, man. You are the example, I'm telling you.
All
Keep
right,
the good things going.
Good smiles for everybody on 3, 2, and 1. Perfect.
Very good.
There you go. All right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, so now we can get to business even more so on the shoulders of giants who've served this utility and those who continue to do so. So we'll ask for the approval of the minutes dated June 25, 2025.
So moved.
It's been moved by Director Howard, seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, we have officially adopted our minutes from June 25, 2025. Oh, Jason's birthday. All right, so we'll move to our governance committee reports. And I believe you have 2 of them, Director Kennedy.
That is correct. Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Governance Committee met on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025 in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9:01 a.m. Present were myself, Directors Howard and Barnes, absent Director Cole. We had a presentation item. Jamie Parker, Interim Chief of Staff, provided a final overview of the 2025 legislative session. SWBNO's priority was securing capital outlay funding to support power complex projects. Ms. Parker announced SWBNO secured $8 million in capital outlay, with $3 million from Priority 1 and $5 million and a $5 million cash allocation. Ms. Parker addressed several bills that were specific to SWBNO. None progressed past the committee phase, resulting in no changes for the utility. Ms. Parker also addressed other utility-related legislation that does not pertain specifically to SWBNO, but could assist the utility in collections for non-payment of utility bills and deterring theft of utility property. Notably, Senate Bill 99 passed and removed SWBNO's ability to use traffic camera revenue for stormwater purposes. However, Senate Bill 220, which also passed, reinstated this provision. Staff noted they will continue to monitor this revenue stream as it is an important component of funding for the minor drainage system. The Governance Committee engaged in robust discussion around various topics, including managing bills, collaborating with utilities lobbyists, and ways to improve processes and procedures. Then we entered into executive session, moved by Director Barnes, seconded by Director Howard. We exited executive session, and there were no public comment. Being that there was no further business, Director Barnes moved to adjourn, Director Howard seconded, the motion carried, and the meeting was adjourned at approximately 9:29 a.m. That's June's committee meeting. The Governance Committee also met on Tuesday, July 8th, in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9:00 a.m. Present were myself, Directors Cole and Howard, absent Director Barnes. We went into executive session, moved by Director Howard, seconded by Director Cole. We exited executive session, moved by Director Howard, seconded by Director Cole. Motion carried. There was no public comment. There was no business, further business for that Governance Committee meeting. Therefore, the meeting was adjourned at approximately 9:26 a.m. on July 8th.
Okay, very good, and that completes your reports. We can adopt them in global, that's my understanding. And so we have now heard the Governance Committee reports, and I'll ask for a motion to approve both June 17, 2025 and July 8, 2025.
So moved.
It's been moved by Director Scholas.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Director Howard. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we have officially adopted Governance Committee reports as presented. And we'll now go on to the Pension Committee.
Thank you. The Pension Committee also met Tuesday, July 8th in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9:45 a.m. Present were myself, Trustee Joseph, Trustee Johnsey, Trustee Shine. Absent were Director Pacho, Director Anthrop, Director Scholas, Trustee Macbull, Councilmember King. We had a presentation item. Mr. Mitchell Bilby of Rod and Wisdom provided an update on the plan's actuarial valuation report as of January 1 of 2025, as well as actuary training content for the pension plan. The training covered the basic benefit formula for a pension, responsibilities for members of the Pension Committee and Board of Trustees, and the role of the plan actuary. The Rudd and Wisdom actuarial funding valuation as of January 1, 2025, was presented and conforms to the funding policy established by the plan. The 2025 employee contribution funding remains at 6% of compensation, while employer funding is projected to be 18.288% of compensation, or $11.74 million, which is slightly lower than employer funding for 2024. The report incorporates the latest assumption updates, participant data updates, and utilizes actuarial methods to estimate the funding of the pension liability, which is currently at 71% funded status. There was discussion about continuing to progress in funding above 80% in the coming years, which is projected following the current funding policy, and efforts to have a fully funded pension plan. Members inquired about items such as plan reciprocity with the city's pension plan and other pension plans in the state, which are designed to allow employees to transfer benefits and assets into the pension plan and receive appropriate credit. Additional discussion items surrounding a cost of living study is underway by the actuary, and other potential impacts on plan liabilities under alternate benefit scenarios is planned for the next meeting with the plan actuary. We had an action item on the agenda. However, due to a lack of quorum, we were not able to proceed with the action item. We then entered into executive session. We did not go into executive session again due to lack of quorum. Being no further business, no ability to take action, the meeting was adjourned at approximately 11:08 a.m.
Okay, and that completes both Pension Committee reports. Okay, so we need a motion to approve both reports as presented. July, that's just the one.
Yeah, it's just one.
Yeah,
It's
just the
just
one.
one.
I'm going to, Director Howard has two. Three, you sure do. 2 in June, okay. So keep it on pension. We need a motion to approve the Pension Committee report as presented. Okay, we have a motion, Director Pacho, and the second. Okay, Director Cole. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've adopted the pension committee report. We'll now move to Director Howard, who has three reports to provide.
Okay, I'll
Director
start. Doesn't matter which one I start with.
No, we have June 18th as the first, but
Okay,
you
June
can,
18th. This is the Finance and Administration Committee. It met on Wednesday, June 18th, and the meeting convened at approximately 9 a.m. Present were Directors Howard, Pacho, Kennedy, and Barnes. Gray Lewis, the Chief Financial Officer, presented an update on the April 2025 preliminary financial results and liquidity positions. There was a presentation and discussion on the role of HGI as a third-party firm appointed by the City Council to review complaints. And the total amount of credits was $1 million monthly for April and May. The revenue billing team, led by Susanna Kirby, has begun to monitor bill processing volumes for each of the 20 billing cycles that include both smart meter mechanical bills and mechanical bills. The idea being to equal out the stream of bills and regularize the periods. Swebno has there was a presentation on the Promise Pay installment plan. There was a period from June 1 to August 31 when fines were waived for people to join that, and it was successful. And let's see, there was a presentation on minor drainage revenue given that was provided for the transfer that occurred at the beginning of the year. Originally, $18.9 million was expected through a combination of one-time sources. The estimate is lower by approximately $5 million currently. There were, the action items included an resolution authorizing application to the Louisiana Department of Health. Director Kennedy moved to accept the resolution. Director Barnes seconded it and carried. There was an authorization for amendment number 1 of the professional services agreement between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Application Software Technology, LLC. Director Barnes moved to accept it. Director Kennedy seconded. The motion carried. There was an authorization of amendment number 2 for professional services for an update to drainage system funding and feasibility analysis between Sewage and Water Board and Reftelis. Director Barnes again moved to accept it, and Director Pacho seconded. The motion carried. The general superintendent's resolutions relating to contract award renewal, contract amendments, contract change order by ratification were all accepted, seconded, and the motion carried from those. There was an authorization of a grant agreement between the University of New Orleans Research and Technology Foundation for Lake Pontchartrain Basin Restoration Program grant funding and the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Song CDC. Director Pacho moved to accept that, and Director Barnes seconded. The motion carried. Final acceptance included Carrollton Basin Resolution R-083-2025 for the Carrollton Basin Number 8 sewer rehabilitation between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Infrastructure. Director Kennedy moved to accept it, and Director Pacho seconded it, and the motion carried. The meeting adjourned at approximately 9:41 a.m. Okay. Then we have on July 9th, the Finance and Administration Committee. Gray Lewis, present were Directors Howard, Pacho, and Kennedy. Absent was Director Barnes. Gray Lewis, the Chief Financial Officer, presented the May 2025 preliminary financial results and liquidity position. The committee expressed concern about drainage taxes, which as of May amount to only 69% of the annual budget amount. Mr. Lewis said he would provide additional information. There was discussion of promise payment plans for customers who are behind bills. Campaign was launched in May. And as of May 2025, 60% of approximately 25,000 customers with past due balances have enrolled in a payment plan. That is really
good, yes.
And past due receivables have decreased. Chris Bergeron, the Chief Engineering, presented a slideshow outlining the process for contract changes. This was very interesting, actually. I'm just going to add. The changes fall into 3 categories: change order, contract amendments, and contract renewals. And he explained the differences between those and what causes change, went into detail on what causes change orders, the main one being problems arriving with There can be errors in scope, it can be problems arising from the need to coordinate with DPW and unforeseen conditions, the latter being often the case, especially with our underground situation. And before, we mentioned that before requests come to the board, they've gone through a multi-step process that involves multiple departments. The chief engineer, general superintendent, interim executive director, each discuss the various factors that are evaluated. Board members request that the board pack include additional information on change orders. The presentation is actually quite helpful for anyone who wants to understand and feel more secure about approving things. So there was a resolution R-117-2025, authorization for amendment number 6 to the maintenance and support agreement between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Cogsdale Corporation. It was moved, seconded, and motion carried. The general superintendent's report gave contract change orders and all those were approved by the committee. There was also resolution R-108-2025, authorization of a cooperative endeavor agreement to Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Plaquemine Parish Government for mutual emergency assistance for potable water supply. That was also moved, seconded, and the motion carried. Final acceptance was for contract 3238, restoration of existing gravity flow sanitary sewers by excavation and replacement from manhole to manhole, CIPP lining from manhole to manhole, CIPP lining of services. Lateral point repairs between Sewage and Water Board in New Orleans and Wallace C. Drennan. That was moved, seconded, and carried. The meeting, there was no public comment. I should have mentioned that in the other one too. And there being no further business to come, the meeting adjourned at approximately 9:56 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you, Director Howard, for both of those Finance Committee reports, June 18, 2025, July 9, 2025, in which we can adopt in global. We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Director Kennedy. Seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we have adopted the Finance Committee reports as presented, and we'll go now back to Director Howard for operations.
Okay, the Operations Committee met also on Wednesday, July 9th, in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at 10:05 a.m. Presents were Director Howard, Kennedy, Pacheco, Duplessis, and Scholas. There was one action item, Resolution R-120-2025, to declare August 29th a holiday as a commemoration of the 20th anniversary of Katrina. Director Duplessis seconded. It was moved by Director Scholas, seconded by Director Duplessis, and it carried. Presentation items included a presentation on the system modernization update by Daryl Iltz, who's our Chief Financial Information Officer, and Kathy Smith, the IT Director. Mr. Iltz discussed the utility's efforts regarding technology modernization and optimization. In the coming years, the utility will replace several major systems, some of which are 30 years old, including its financial, human resources, asset management, and customer billing systems. The modernization also includes cloud-based middleware for enhanced integration. It will require training for employees, which will be carefully undertaken. Ms. Smith presented the timeline for the expected completion of the major project milestones. There was then a smart metering update by Rebecca Johnsey, the Deputy General Superintendent. Ms. Johnsey introduced her team, Anthony John Marie, Jason Sharper, and Sarah Sharp, who delivered presentations on the status of smart meter installations and the benefits of the technology. There was no public comment, and the meeting adjourned at 11 a.m.
Thank you. You're welcome. First of all, I love how you all are having several meetings on the same date and back to back. So thank you just for your leadership and service in that. We do need to adopt the Operations Committee report as presented. We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Director Scholas, it's seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? So we've officially adopted our Operations Committee report and will now, oh, very good. Thank you so much. I do want to acknowledge Councilman King has joined us. First, I thought we had you and we lost you. Thank you for coming on back. Good job. Okay, so we've adopted operations, and we'll move now to our executive director's report.
Yes, good morning, Madam Mayor and the Board of Directors. A brief Executive Director's report for July of 2025. We start off with our installation. Just the, all right, smart meter. Smart metering program, progress in the installation, a little over 122,000 meters installed. That represents 87% of the population. So we're doing well. With the next 60 to 90 days, probably finishing that, we'll be at the 90 to 95% threshold. So we're doing very well. Over 81,000 registered accounts, over 23,000 customers in auto pay, and approximately 9,000 monthly leak alert notifications. So we're actually, the program is doing what it's supposed to do, and that's good news. A little bit on the Upper Line water main break. A couple of weeks ago, our crews responded to a 30-inch water main break on Upper Line. The age of the water main was 117 years old, so it's quite old. Our SWEPNO operations were notified.
Who took that picture?
Someone took the picture.
That's like, what?
The thing is that, pictures don't lie, and the documentation of the work that's required
Right.
is necessary, because again, it's not sexy work. Most people don't see it, and if you don't see it, you don't believe it, especially how we get a bad rap. So this is work. Go ahead, Brian.
Someone up top took this picture. and what it shows, as the mayor indicated, is 117 years old, broke, very narrow right away. SWEPNO teams were notified at 11:30 at night. WGSO, Caitlin called me 11:30 at night. I was up watching war movies, as I normally like to watch. Military movies. But again, I worked with Caitlin and the team up to 1:30. And the operations crew did very well. I mean, the first order of work is to diagnose, see what's, do your recon, isolate, valve down, and that's what they did. It took them a while, but they actually valved down. And as you can see in that photo, the contractor, we did call some contractors, and we did get one that can respond on an emergency basis with CMG. We think they did, thanks that they did come out. And as you can see, we still had some pressure on that pipe. So they worked that entire repair in the wet. So again, we analyzed the situation. Our contractor did go out 48 hours, 48, 50 hours. The repair was complete. And some post-action items we're dealing with is looking at some of the other valves to narrow down that closure. And again, those valves are just as old as the pipe. So I just wanted to point that out to the board. So it can happen, and it's aging infrastructure. And hence the reason my soapbox is that's why we need to replace aging infrastructure, and that's why we need additional funds to replace aging infrastructure. Promise pay, and is what Director Howard indicated earlier in her brief of promise pay, is that very well. I really like this program with promise pay. Again, a little over 15,000 active accounts. The average interest of no payment plan is a little over $1,600. And we've collected a little less than $18 million to date. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's from July of last year?
February.
February of last year? 24. So, and then we have 24 million scheduled. This is, I call it a blessing for our customers, because again, if you can't pay the full bill, it's like a layaway plan. We're doing everything we can to make this affordable in order for you to pay your pass-through bill, and it's a success. So again, it's, as indicated, 60% have been enrolled for our balance of greater than 60 days of $63 million. And with that max time frame of 36 months, so again, $36 to $38 million over the next 3 years. That funding would come back in and would invest that back into our water infrastructure, which is needed.
Exactly, and what it is a testament to is that trust in this utility is being built throughout the city of New Orleans. You wouldn't have 60% if it did not exist. And not only that, it demonstrates that accurate reads, people understand what they owe, and they're making arrangements to pay what they owe. It's a win-win-win, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. It is
Absolutely.
trust being built in this city for this utility. Work is being done.
And that's a correct statement, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Moving on to our power complex, testing and commissioning is underway. As we've seen and we've sent out, there was a delay in testing and commissioning, but we're making progress. We're looking at the first static frequency converter to come on in August, the mid-August, end of August timeframe. So, and that SFC1 is a critical step in replacing our outdated power generation system. So, in addition to the SFC1, which will generate 25 hertz power, our 60 hertz power, we're also looking to come on that substation in August also. So again, we're making progress with SWEPNO and our contractors working collaboratively to meet all our major milestones. Just the updated schedule is SFC 2 and 3 is in October timeframe, and Turbine 7 November timeframe. Want to mention last Friday, we achieved our first major milestone with this project where we energized a critical feeder of tying in the Entergy substation into our first critical piece of equipment at Sewage and Water Power Complex, which is Power Distribution Center 2. Testing, everything passed out. Last Friday, we energized that will allow us now to do further testing of the equipment in a sequential phase until we get to that mid-August timeframe SFC1. Another photo is just a few slides of photos of the utility rack. This is a photo of the utility rack looking from the east side of campus. And as you can see, the rack sort of blends in with the rest of the facility at Carrollton Water Plant. So again, in the foreground, you can see the cranes in the air that the contractor is still working on the power plant. Another photo of the utility rack itself. This view is from the west side of the campus, looking east. As you can see, the two water towers in the background, and then to the right, our power plant. You know, the stacks, the original stacks with the power plant. So we're definitely doing good news there. This that you really don't see, but we just want to put this photo in. It was significant underground work. So it's a tremendous amount of underground work that was involved, associated with the power complex. So tremendous amount, thousands and thousands of feet of underground conduit to make this project into fruition. Very good slide here. The heart and soul of the power complex itself, as you can see from the utility rack to the left, our power distribution centers, the switchgear, the PDC2, PDC1, two critical pieces of equipment. To the right, you see the static frequency changes and transformers, SFC 1, 2, and 3, and then sort of in the middle, the combustion turbine 7 and auxiliary equipment in the bottom right, Sullivan Station. This is a close-up of the static frequency converters, the power transformers themselves. So you can see there's 6 transformers, 4 on the left and 2 in the middle. That little small square building you see right in that to the right middle portion, that is PDC2. And that's the major milestone we achieved. You can see Entergy substation in the foreground, and there's that critical feeder connection that was tested and energized last Friday that will allow us to move on to further testing. Again, this look like a little spaghetti model, not the hurricane spaghetti model, what I call the power complex spaghetti model. But again, that critical portion I talked about, as you can see, is Sullivan to PDC2. That was the major milestone that we achieved Friday. And from there, you can see it branches out to PDC1, and then it goes the CTG7, the SFC, eventually it goes to the central control. The yellow is a designation for the 60 hertz power, and then the orange is a designation for the 25 hertz power. Both power sources will head over to the east side of campus into central control, as well as our PFC building, outside switchgear building, and we're looking at that August timeframe to energize this. Quick thing on the Storm Center, as we all know, the Invest 93, Ms. Harrison, maybe a disturbance, I don't know what it is now, but we just want to let everyone know, go to swepno.org, Storm Center, where you can actually see what's happening from the Sewage and Water Board standpoint of view during the storm. The pumping and power status, links to the hurricane resource, which is FEMA, National Hurricane Center, and such. Weatherwise, you can always go to weatherwise with NOLA.com, as well as our press releases. And quick thing, I will ask Steve Nelson to give a quick brief on the operations side and what we're preparing for the storm. But again, our standard protocol is lowering canals, our equipment, flush trucks are on standby, water purification, we're going on our normal tropical preparations. I'm gonna leave the power to Steve because we got some exciting news today on our power side. And again, our staff is ready. We're prepped and we're prepared for the storm. What we understand, it's a rainmaker, 2 to 4 to 6 inches over 4 to 5 days. Some areas along the coast, they projected to be 10+ inches,
Yeah.
but you never know, these pop-up storms may and whack you. So again, we're informing the public, our system capacity is 1 inch first hour, 1/2 inch thereafter. You can get 3 to 4 inches of rain in that first hour, you will have localized flooding. So stay safe. Our motto is don't drown, turn around. If you cannot see that curb with its flooding, don't drive down that roadway, turn around. Because you can't tell from the difference between a roadway and if there's a canal adjacent to it. We want everyone to be safe. And last, we're asking for the public assistance, as we would always say, make an effort if you can to clean the debris from in front of your catch basin. That is a huge help to everyone, pretty much in the metro area. Do not try and open the catch basin. Do not hurt your back. But as long as we can clean that debris so that water can go into the catch basin, that'll help. And I'll turn it over to Steve so he can give us an update on the pumping and power status. Steve?
Very good. Thanks, Ron. As you mentioned, we do have some good news today. GE has been on site fixing T6. The repair has been made. We'll be testing that this afternoon. Anticipate that being fully online and available should we lose power at the Carrollton Water Plant. Turbine 4 is online as we speak and ready for use. Turbine 5 is also available. The EMDs, our electromotive diesels, are available, as are our frequency changers, bringing our available power to 67.5 megawatts. We need 44 at peak capacity, so we have ample power available. We have 86 and 93 pumps available. Most of those locations, well, all of those pump stations do have additional pumps. The one that's the primary concern is at Drainage Pump Station 4, where E-Pump does represent about 1/4 of that station's capacity. That station serves Gentilly, so we will be keeping an eye on that. We do have operations personnel on site and will be on site throughout the course of this event. Folks will be at our pump stations where necessary 24/7. We'll also have them on site at the Carrollton Water Plant. We'll be pumping down our canals today. We also have crews internally and with CES cleaning catch basins and laterals across the city. And as Ron mentioned, the primary concern for us are short periods of intense rainfall. The forecasts vary fairly widely from 3 inches to 10 inches over the course of the next 4 days. If we're in the 3 to 5 inch range, not much reason for concern, but if we do get up into 10 inches and it falls in a couple of hours, that will be more than the 1 inch an hour that our system can handle. So in a good place power-wise, and we will continue to keep the public updated.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
And our last slide, second to last slide, let me hit it, is let everyone know the permanent executive director, Mr. Randy Heyman, his start date is Monday, July 28th, in 12 days. And again, very knowledgeable, 24 years of experience in the water utility, water space side. And our campus visits will begin July 28th. So we're excited for Randy Heyman to start on July 28th. And that concludes the executive director's brief.
Very good. Thank you so much. Any questions, comments relative to the executive director's report?
I have a comment, may not be,
Councilman, go ahead.
yes, thank you. I'm not sure if it's relative. Well, so there's been a lot of flooding in Algiers around General de Gaulle, the levee or the canal, the water comes up to the very top, and on General Meyer by Delgado, in those streets behind, I saw a child waist deep in water. Now, thanks to Mr. Nelson, he's been very quick to respond. Just wanted to kind of put that on your radar as well and see if we can figure out the cause of. I did see some trucks out there yesterday in that area. Was that to fix the problem, or was that something unrelated? On General Meyer by Delgado.
So that area around General Meyer is significantly higher than the levels of the canal, so it's certainly a surface drainage issue. General Meyer is maintained by DOTD. We've reached out to their regional engineer. They've got folks looking at it as well, but we've also sent crews out to clean the areas that we talked about near Delgado, near Merle, and General Meyer. So we've had folks out there already this week addressing those specific issues. We'll also be watching that throughout the course of this event to respond as quickly as we can. As far as the canal levels go, there is a project going on there right now that's increasing the size of that General de Gaulle Canal. Of course, that won't be completed this week, but that's one of those projects through the SELA program that will address flooding and increase canal levels along
So
de Gaulle.
do you think with this rainstorm coming in, would the General Meyer issue be resolved or partially resolved? Or?
Hopefully, it's been mitigated. I haven't gotten
Mitigated,
the final results of it yet, but would encourage our customers to continue to call 311. And also, we do have a tool, IC Change, is a real-time information gathering and dissemination tool that our customers can download an app, report flooding, and that's something that we'll be watching closely throughout the course of this event.
Right, but mitigating it 100% that's not an accurate
Right.
statement. It's not an accurate statement, meaning 100% mitigation based on the drainage work that needs to be done, that's not done.
Well, I wouldn't say 100% because it's a small time frame, but just at least make it not so bad for.
We've done what we can at this point, but as far as the ultimate effect, we'll have to see what rain falls. And thank you, Madam Mayor, you're absolutely correct. We haven't been able to clean the entire system. The goal, of course, is to clean 20% of the system a year. We've got to be able to have the funding and the personnel to be able to do that.
Right, but the reality is that the level of drainage infrastructure work that is required specifically in Algiers, we're not there yet. This is what needs to happen in the future. So we cannot negate the fact of existing conditions and also how over time, areas that were intended to drain have been covered up. So we have, unfortunately, kind of left, it's like Back to the Future, how the city was built in terms of creating areas to hold water, again, over the years have been covered up. They've been filled in, which has caused a problem. So it's going to be really a collaboration with residents as well, but it will come down to funding and projects and scope of work that is associated and aligned with that level of funding. And the fact is, in terms of federal dollar, the only federal dollar we have, primarily Algiers, is through CELA. The additional resources that we have been able to allocate towards Algiers has come mostly through bond funding, as well as how we have been able to leverage resources, meaning with the city. But the federal dollar hasn't been there. Mostly that's been on the East Bank that we've been seeing spent towards joint infrastructure work. So the reality remains the reality remains the reality. We don't have adequate funding. We have to do better with how we create systems of holding water and really going back to the future to when those areas were there to hold water through the years covered up. So we have to be honest to people. And that's what I know I've tried to level set as best as possible, but to giving false hope, we're not doing that. Because this utility and the resources that we have are not adequate. So, and this is years of. So we just have to level set because we're going to need more resources. It's just the facts of the matter, and it's not going to come all through a property tax. It's going to come through how we diversify revenue streams, in the city and for this utility. Drainage, that is a reality. Drainage fees associated with that. That's why those things are being proposed, because we need additional resources. And I don't want to tell people, I don't want to give false hope without us all and residents understanding the level of scope, meaning the work that needs to be done and what it will take to get it done. It's not in isolation of the people themselves.
Absolutely.
I can go on and on because
and
it's just the truth.
And very well said, Madam Mayor. I just want to thank publicly Mr. Nelson for always being responsive to not just myself, but the constituents, and Mr. Spooner on the emails. Every time I get an email sent to you two, you're right there on it, and it takes a heavy load, a burden off of me trying to explain what I really don't understand and really can't explain. You two do a great job of that explanation, so thank you.
No, thank you, Councilman. And I'm on those emails too. And hey, that's why I check them myself. Because it keeps me straight and it just keeps everybody honest as well. Yes, Director Barnes.
Question about IC Change. If we want our customers to utilize that, are we texting them the information? I don't know that they will know about it.
Yeah, the primary reporting mechanism does need to be 311. So that's how customers need to report flooding issues. But this is through our flood portal at our website. That's one of the tools that folks have to be able to.
And now we can even see, like, it's amazing to be able to see it in real time as well and respond as best we can. Any other questions? Oh, I'm sorry, Director Howard.
No, the report on the break uptown brings back the issue of the age of the infrastructure, and I think it would be helpful to get a recap once again of how many of our different pipes are beyond their useful life, and by how much. I mean, there's nothing we can do except replace, when you got a 117-year-old piece of pipe. But I think that quite an astonishing, as I recall from other reports, an astonishing number of the pipes fall into that category. And I think that's a useful piece of information, just not only for us, but for the public.
I agree. I think, I call Ron my rain man every time, no pun intended. But every time we, whether it's do a ribbon cutting on something, I say, Ron, what is it, man? Give me the trivia, 1905. So that's something we can definitely do.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to do it too, Ron, while you're here.
Yes, ma'am.
While you're still.
Duly noted.
It's the facts of the matter, and I think when as we're educating the public, and especially around a drainage fee associated with that, this is what people need to understand. And we are below sea level, we are sinking. Society, it's just real situation that we're in. Anything else? All right, Ms. Yolanda.
Yes, so we'll need a motion to approve corresponding resolutions 117, 2025, 093, 2025, 101, 2025, 102, 2025, 103, 2025, 104, 2025, 105, 2025, 106, 2025, 107, 2025, 108, 2025, 109, 2025. And that concludes the corresponding resolutions that we need a motion to approve. Yeah.
Okay, are there any, report out on these, or we're just set to move forward in globalization? Just need a motion to approve. So we need a motion to approve the corresponding resolutions as read into the record by Ms. Yolanda. It's been moved by Director Pacho,
Second.
seconded by Director Scholas. Any questions? Hearing, yes.
About the miscellaneous, the CEA between New Orleans and Plaquemines Parish. I just wanted to call it out that I think that's of note, that we have sort of mutual emergency assistance, and we don't talk about that a lot, but I just think it's good for the public to know that we are working with our neighbors.
Absolutely, and we've saved neighbors from having sewage on their streets. We've saved neighbors from, being able to drink clean water. We're always assisting, and we've been front and center. This is not the first time. It's been, I know since I've been serving as mayor, it gets overlooked because when we help others, it's almost like we're the only ones who need help, but we're actually giving help. Absolutely. In abundance, I might say. So there's been a motion, there's been a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we have officially adopted those corresponding resolutions. And Ms. Yolanda.
And I will need a motion to enter into executive session to discuss workers' compensation case Anthony Williams, and also to discuss Act 384 and House Resolution number 334 pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 4217A2.
Okay, of course, we need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Director Barnes.
Second.
Seconded by Director Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we will go into executive session.
Anybody have a clue? What's the driver? What's the motivation?
Speculate. Yeah, I got a couple thoughts on that, but not.
Okay.
That would have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure out why.
Ms. Yolanda?
Are we ready? Okay, we are live.
Ms. Yolanda?
Mayor, we'll need a motion to exit executive session.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Seconded, a motion by Director Scholas, seconded by Director Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we are officially out of executive session.
And we'll need a second motion to approve special counsel's recommendation regarding Anthony Williams' workers' compensation claim.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Howard, it's been seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've officially approved the attorney special counsel's recommendation relative to Anthony Williams. Ms. Yolanda?
We have information items for the board's perusal, and do we have any public comment? No public comment, Mayor, and so we are ready for a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we're ready for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Director Barnes.
Second.
Seconded by Director Scholas. All in favor? Okay, any opposed, abstentions? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much.
The trustee.